Maya, excused from the post parade. Post time in 7 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We've had a little bit of a
snafu. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, we got the volume. Okay, good going, Mike. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties. So for those of you who are patient, thank you. There's a couple of bugs in the new show, so we're just starting to roll.
Yeah, hopefully we are. All right, good. We can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you well. Okay. Where are we heading, Mr. Producer?
I'm getting a little feedback, though. That's the only problem.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hold on one second. All right, I can't seem to share my EE at the moment. Let me.
Hey, Jay. No, Jay, I am in Rochester, New York. Got back on Sunday for Mother's Day, and I plan to be here for a extended period. Finally got some good weather here in Western New York today. It's like in the 70s, and as of a couple hours ago, it was sunny. So that's a benefit in this time of year. Hey, Wiz, thanks for joining, brother. Just working through a few glitches here. Our apologies as we get this new show rolling. Sure things will flow a lot better in the upcoming week. So both apologized to you. Thanks for hanging in there with us. Now we got Pimlico coming up in 2 minutes.
All right. My bad. I just lost the feed again.
Yeah, I hear you, Jay. Syracuse. Yeah, I think this past winter, Syracuse was number one on the list for lake effect snow accumulation, and we were part of the Rochester area suburbs, and we're near there. Was right in that category of number two, which was fine with me when I'm in Florida, but when I'm in New York, I don't want to have a ton of lake effect snow. That's for sure. I'm not a big snow lover anymore.
All right, I'm having feedback problems.
Okay.
All of a sudden.
It's not workable either.
No, I'm getting a delayed sound.
Yeah. That happened to me once. One of the shows we started doing last year with Scotty, and I don't know how we resolved it. I had to do something on my end.
Yeah, it's just when I thought we had it figured out.
Isn't there a rock song like that? I'm sure there is. It's just when you thought we had it figured out. Murphy's Law.
There's that. We may have to postpone.
Okay, that's fine. And,
Unfortunately, I'm having too many issues
right.
with this audio.
Okay. Well, we've got next week, and that's fine. We don't want to keep going too long with having issues. We don't want to hold up our listeners or viewers. We apologize. Jay, Wiz, who else is on? Scott, Steven. Appreciate you joining us. Our apologies. We're just having so many difficulties with this on Mike on his end. So. Wiz, yes, we will have an NHC show tomorrow, beginning either, I believe, at 11:30, maybe 11:45, in that range. And any great picks to leave us with? Well, unfortunately, we weren't on, and this normally happens. The notes I put in for the Big A in races 5 and 6 ended up coming, doing well. They both won. So those were my best bets of the day. Let me just see if I had something else that I thought was a solid play. I thought as the card went on, it was a little more difficult. I didn't love anybody, so I just don't want to throw something out. But as far as the Preakness, I'm sure you guys will be listening. We'll be talking about it tomorrow on the show. We have the weekend preview show tonight. I'll be joining later, I believe. The Preakness, I don't think it can be journalism. And I'm trying to get a long shot or two in the second or third position. And the horse I'm trying to get to hit the board is Gasker, the 9 horse on the outside. I'll go through that on the show tonight. And the reason why I like Gasker. And also, I'd probably use Speed from the Rail with goal oriented. Also, a little bit of a hunch play. If you're looking at not just goal oriented, the way we would think goal oriented would be. It's goal oriented because I'm a huge Hockey's fan. So, and that horse should have the lead from the rail. So, how about 219-291 is my exact triple action on the Preakness. Subject to change depending on.
You guys hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay. I think I figured out what was going on with the.
Oh, okay. So we are going.
Double feedback. Now, if I can get. Let's see. Yeah. All right. We're good to go. Now I just get on Equinedge and we're good to go.
Okay.
I'm going to get this
just
figured
going to
out.
bolt out prematurely, as they say. I'm going to watch how I say that. All right. They're loading into the gate at Pimlico. So let's see if we can cover that one.
Yeah. Let's get Pimlico up here.
Okay. While we're talking, Pimlico, they're loading in. Oh, that's horseshoes. They're both.
Oh, that's horseshoe.
Yeah.
Hopefully the sound works.
Well, just because Pimlico's loading in, I do like the one Reassess. But I do have a concern with this horse on the dirt. It looks more like a better turf for Tapeta or synthetic horse. And Bossy Kate, the 2 horse, I thought was live. Now dropping in class, going back to dirt today with the races off the turf. And this Golden Lad, I think, prefers the dirt, and the distance may be questionable, but I'm using a 1-2 here, 2-1 at Pimlico.
Let's make sure I got this set up. Yep. No, don't have sound. Sorry, we can watch. I'll get it figured out.
All right, this is Horseshoe Indy. We've got the 3 going for the lead. Let me pull up my Horseshoe. Jordan's Deal, the 2-1 favorite, being chased by Bits of Candy at 8-1. And Pimlico just went off also, so I'm focusing on there. Also, I'm trying to multitask. Yep, shared authority wins that. I'm sorry, I was watching Pimlico because I have more interest in Pimlico, the 3-horse shared authority, basically with a wire job. The 1 reassessed never got near the lead as the favorite and never a factor at 7-2. Actually, it ended up being the 3rd choice.
All right, now I need to get the audio back to working here. I remember what the heck I did.
All right. Okay.
We can move on. We can do it without the sound, and I'll try to figure it out between handicap and races.
Sure.
So let's see who we got up next. Do you want to do Gulfstream 8? We got 7 minutes.
Sure. Let's go to the Gulfstream 8. Let me just pull it up on my Equinedge screen here.
Well, we got my notes ready.
Okay, we're in the 8th, 7 minutes to post. All right, I'll let you go lead it off, Mike, as long as you're okay with that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we'll play the race sim here. Just really quick looking at the EE metrics. I always like to, and everyone does it differently, but I like to sort the pace first, kind of see what kind of a pace metric looks like, and then go to the race sim to see if it matches up. So here it looks like the 3 has a 14-point pace advantage over the 1 and the 6. So it looks like it will go to the lead. May get some pressure from the 1, 6, or 8, but we can take a quick look at the race sim. Just let it play. So that's kind of the way I looked at it with this one here.
Mm-hmm.
That 14-point pace advantage. This is his 2nd try on the turf. 2nd try recently, 6th try in her career. But her recent form has been better than her past form, and and she has shown she can win on the lead and rate.
Right.
So I kind of see it as an opportunity for her to go gate to wire. But even if she does get any kind of pressure from the 1, 6, or 8, she has demonstrated where she can rate. If we go back and look at her lines, last effort at 5 furlongs, same distance on the turf, got caught at the wire against 56 SOR versus 62 SOR. I think with her past form and the opportunity to go gate to wire, that was my top pick. There were a couple others that I was looking at. The Scotty Longshot, don't tell Tamo. Interesting name. So with her, it seems like her GSR is better, definitely better on the synthetic than turf. Although they can, sometimes they can go either way. So if we look at the GSR plus, what I like to do is, kind of go back and forth. You see her at a 73 on synthetic at 5 furlongs versus a 58. That's kind of a tell that she does like the synthetic a little bit more than the turf. And then, I don't know if it's going to translate well or not, but that was the other one I was looking at. But the 3 is where I landed just because of the pace advantage. And
gotcha. Yeah, and I'm sort of on the same page with you, Mike, as far as the way I approach a race with Equinedge. The first thing I always do is sort the pace factor in order. And anytime I have we got an 18-point, 14-point pace metric advantage. So that would lead me to believe that the 3, now this is only 5 furlongs on the turf. I've been wired so many times in the past at these 5 furlong races thinking there's going to be a pace up front, it's going to be contentious, and my closer, who's got a pace metric of 3, is going to come running, from the back of the pack and just blow by these. And I've been burned so many times. With that being said, I think the 3 is a good play, and I wouldn't talk you off at 2-1 at this point, which is where the action is. But I had some interest in, besides that horse, the 6 and the 7. So let's go to the 7 first. As the lower price is actually also 9-5 on the odds board right now, and that's She Loves to Travel. Debuted on April 4th of this year over the Tapeta at 5.5, at 4.5 to 1, and just absolutely wired the field quite easily. Had some good works. Now goes to the turf for the first time. It's out of St. Patrick's Day. I'm looking at what the GSR is. I don't love the GSR, but based on that first debut performance, this horse is the other speed and could get out and press the 3. Now, the 3, you're right. The 3 may have to rate a little bit, but I think you got to give that horse a big chance. The 7, She Loves to Travel. But based on my proclivity for finding long shots and value, of course, no, I'm still searching for my horse, and I have interest in the 6, Greenfield Cougar. Now, at this point, I'm a little concerned with the money this horse has taken off a 9-2 morning line. This filly, we had an Equinedge morning line of 6-1, which I thought was probably the more likelier price. But right now, I'm looking at live 12-1. So the horse, she's kind of dead on the board. Now, again, this is similar to the profile of She Loves Travel, the 7, except on March 13th in her debut race, she broke her maiden basically in wire-to-wire fashion on the same course, but only a half furlong shorter. Then stretched out to 2 turns on the Tapeta and had the lead, and got caught and tired late, and now moves back to maybe what her best distance is. So we're looking at a turf sprint at 5, has 1 at 5. But now, are you going to get a speed duel between the 3, 6, 7? Because it looks like, at least on paper, the 6 is going to be right there, and I'm not sure the 6 can rate. I love the work on March 30th. Now that's a while back, because she has raced on April 25th. Right. But I'm thinking the distance. To me, it's like which horse gets out, and the horse that gets out the best, or maybe opens 2 is the best, likeliest winner. And I'll take a chance with here the 6, Greenfield Cougar. The price is too good for me to pass up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. Now, is there any closer that you liked in here, Mike?
No, I think the only closer, honestly, I was looking at, and I wouldn't really call him a closer, is Travel Happy at a price. The 8. I think what got me on there was the 3 for 4 on synthetic. If it can transfer that after those efforts, again, going to be closer, near or on the pace. It gets Mav aboard. I'm a big fan of him. He and Jackson are 27% together. Gary's 2 for 6 in the past month. Only knock is he's 0 for 6 when he does go synthetic to turf. That was the only concern I had. Trainer wise, but horse wise, if you look at his GSR plus and you look at it, they're even. So that to me says, she should be able to transition just fine. And then, her previous works were just fine. I know she just raced not too long ago, but that was the one I was looking at that would, look at the pace figures. You call it a closer. She's really not. You look at her past performances. She's either on or right behind the pace, but there weren't any closers that I could see, especially at 5 furlongs.
Yeah, the only horse I wanted to mention here, Mike, as a closer is Don't Tell Tamo. Draws the rail, which can be a little tricky, but the thing is, if there is a real contentious pace, I mean, this horse, she drops down from a $75,000 maiden claimer, and let's see. So I'm going to pop up the SOR of that race, and that was a 66. Now she drops in with a 62 group, and again gets the pace and as lead, but with 5 furlongs. I mean, you've got to get the perfect trip from the rail. Right. I mean,
yeah, and that's the note. That's exactly the note I took, David. She needs to be more forwardly placed to have a chance.
Right.
For sure.
Her best scenario would be for the speed duel on the front end, and the rail horse or the horse closer to the rail, the 3, who's the likely one of the likely pace setters, Happy Ride, to go a little wide around the turn, leave that rail open. But I think the 1 is definitely live, but I'm not sure she gets enough of a pace in here. So
yeah. Let's see. I didn't get a chance to look at play with the sound again, but we'll at least get to see it.
Okay, we'll at least get to see it.
We'll make up our own sounds.
Like the old days at OTB, or actually it's reversed. You didn't see the race, you heard it, and you're standing there.
Yeah, it's the other way.
Right, staring at a blank TV that just had the right there. And I don't know why people, I guess as horse players, we're looking up at a blank screen and everybody's cheering, and it's like we can't see anything. Why should look at the screen? But it's just like it's human nature. We're hoping maybe that an audio popped up. A video popped up at some point. Hey, Hot Rod, how's it going?
What's up, Hot Rod? Good to see you.
Good luck, everybody.
That's true, Jay. Everyone has sound at home. I don't know if they're ahead or on pace or behind. I know some of the ADW feeds are a little bit behind our direct feed.
All right, so
we got the lead like we thought. 8-7 right on his heels as we thought.
And the 6 is rating, so we'll see what happens with Greenfield Cougar. Can she rate?
And the 1 didn't get the forwardly placed opportunity we said she needed. Although she does have some horse, though. She's coming.
Yep.
I just don't think she's going to get there. Looks like the 3 might do it. Gate the wire. Yeah, off at the favorite.
Happy Ride and Travel Happy. You did mention Travel Happy. There you go. Actually, it didn't have the triple. Would have the hunch.
Yeah, we should have.
Happy Ride. She loves to travel and Travel Happy. Did the 7 didn't come in third, right?
No, he kind of fell apart. But
I was going to say shit to bad, but you're more polite than me. Yep. So 3-8. You've got a price on the back end of your exacta, and logical favorite wins wire to wire. Didn't get a ton of pace pressure. I thought the 6 would be based on those numbers that and the speed that she showed first time out. It looked like their strategy on the 6 in that race was to rate a little bit off the pace, and it didn't work out.
Yeah, and you look at it, it almost went to form in that first call.
Yes,
3 had a lead, 8-7.
Absolutely.
Right on his tail, and the 6 was just behind that 8-7. Kind of look back, and the only difference is it looks like the 8 was dropping back in a stretch. It was the other way around. It was the 7 that dropped back.
Yes.
And the 6 hung on for third. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, we got a couple minutes before Aqueduct, or we'll call Belmont at the Big A, whichever way you want to look at it.
I always call it, if I see that track, to me, it's Aqueduct. I don't care what meet you want to run. You can run the Royal Ascot there, but it's still Aqueduct, right? So,
all right, so this is your baby. I'll let you go first, and I'll tag along.
Oh, now you're putting the pressure on, Mike. And again, I didn't spend a lot of time in this race. We've got about 3 minutes to post, but let me just pull up my Equinedge screen, and I will apologize in advance. My computer is a little slow today for some reason, so I should have had it up first, but just
they changed the track conditions there.
I believe it's muddy now. Yeah, it looks muddy, but almost, in my opinion, it looks almost on the good side of muddy.
Okay, yeah, because I thought it was getting better anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so you've got a race that was originally carded 6 furlongs for the turf. Now they're all off. No turf today. They're all off on the main track. And this is a very contentious race. And if you look at the Equinedge, the metrics with the win percentages, that'll tell you. You got a 23%, 21, 16, 14, 12, 11. So you've got a bunch of horses with a chance. And I couldn't even separate them. And now this is a maiden special weight, right? So we're guessing on some of these horses. We're guessing on shadow banking. I love McLean's music, Offspring. And McLean's music seem to be so versatile. They can run on turf. They can run on dirt. Pretty decent on synthetic also. And, I also thought, there's the Kawando looked good to me, right. But that would be my first throw out. To be honest with you, the Top Scotty pick, only because of the opportunities this horse has had, 12. So I'll speed it up. I'm going with the horse that I think offers the best value. Here's the 1 Antisocial. Originally, had a good turf work leading up to this, but now this is back on the dirt, comes off the layoff. May need a race, but I think not this time. I think maybe the off track will benefit the horse a little bit. So I'm on the 1 Antisocial. I'm sorry, Mike.
No, that's my pick too.
Okay, good.
I think I went. My angle was he's face tougher, has a really good wet GSR, been training well. The only other one I looked at was the Chad number 3 first time starter, shadow banking.
Mm-hmm. Which is Klarovich, and you never know with them. It's hard to leave out. And Chad has started this meet on fire. 5 wins out of 17 starts, almost 30% success rate. So he's cranked up for the spring meet here.
Yeah, he is.
Loading indicate. Now my feed is way behind yours, probably.
Yeah, mine isn't. Unfortunately, we wish we could show them, but. And then the sound.
Yeah, well, just tell me at the end you got the 1-1 while coming off the pace, getting a good rail trip. Yeah,
I could probably play it on my.
Man, we got a tight leaderboard on the top of this Preakness Challenge. Whoa, I'm 76.
That's right. I haven't even checked.
And the 4th place is only $2.10 behind me. Whoa, it's going to be a slugfest with the last 2 races. I'm just hoping that I'll probably end up finishing 4th, a dime, 10 cents off of the 3rd place. That's usually how I roll in these.
Well, let's get this one home, and then we'll worry about the last.
Then we'll worry about that later.
Race 9 at Gulfstream
But
Park.
Good luck,
I am
everybody.
nowhere close, so good luck.
Okay.
Let's get the one home.
Yeah, the 1's not running at all. Probably needs a race.
Got about 6 lengths to make up. 4's on the lead. Holding strong. 1's coming up the rail though. He's got some horse under him, so he's coming up, staying on the rail. I don't know if he's going to catch that 4 though. That 4's pretty strong. Come on, 1. Get by him. He's still trying, David. Get up, baby. Yeah. Come on, baby. Get up there. That baby.
You got up?
Caught him. Sorry,
yes,
you. Sorry, man.
Okay, hold on a second. Come on with that 1. Come on down. You can catch him up the rail. Go to the outside. Don't interfere with. Oh, shit. It almost looked like he was coming out and interfering with the 4. Jeez, I don't think he's ever going to get up.
I didn't think he was going to get up, man. Sorry.
I've got to get my feed back on. You ruined all the drama.
Oh, you're excited, man. I was getting excited for you, dude. I'm sorry.
All right, so now it's all gravy. I just have to hope that it's pretty formful in the last, but we'll see. Because
good job, man.
Well, no matter what happens, I gave it a good run. I'm sitting in a good position. So
heck yeah.
Thanks, Dan.
That was great.
Thanks, Jay. Yeah. And we got a solid price too. He ended up going off at 5-1, right? And I will tell you that this is the first time, and if you listen to our shows regularly, you'll know because I go down the same path here. I'm not anybody who's an expert who should be criticizing jockeys. jockeys, right? I admire everything they do. I wouldn't have the guts to get on a horse doing what they do. With that being said, I've had so many bad trips with Joel Rosario that I just wanted to point out that Joel gave this horse a perfect ride. Hold on a second. Is he blinking? Let me wait till it's official. Did he do something? He came out and went from the rail, switched past.
Yeah, he didn't interfere with anybody.
It looked like. Well, only because the horse was clear, but he still would have made that move. But good job, Joel. And I believe we got a solid 5-1.
That was a great ride.
Yeah.
All right, let's see where we want to go to next. We can we got 7 minutes to Churchill 1 if we don't want to do Hawthorne.
Yeah, sure. Let's definitely do the opener. And it's up to you. If anybody on the chat wants to do the other, but yeah, I think Churchill would be my preferred. It was like the opener there.
Yeah, I'm with
you. All right, let's take a look. And again, just for full disclosure, this is the first time I'm looking at this race at Churchill.
Yeah, I can kind of go through the pace set up here.
Yeah, sure. And then I'll join in.
Race sim go. So it looks like the 5-1 with a pace numbers of 73.69 should be on and near the pace, and then looks like 6-3-2 all have similar pace numbers, but we'll play the race sim here. Get through the first call and see that the 5 and the 1 are taking the lead. 6 close up behind. You know, I looked at this as a pace duel here with that 5 and the 1, and I was looking for a horse that's going to sit a stalking trip. And I hate to be the chalky guy, but
okay.
The 2 is one that I was looking at, but you know, if we look at the win percentages, 2 is at 38%. It's this top Scotty pick. We could go through the 2 real quick and take knocks at it, but she is 1 for 2 on the dirt coming in from Fairgrounds off a short layoff last trip out for Catalano. Was in the 3-2 path. Ran on, seemed to finish pretty strong against the 54 group, going against the 50 SOR group here. If we look at GSR, does get a GSR bump, dropping back from 8 furlongs off the turf down to 6.5. So that's probably why you're seeing that GSR difference, both surface change and then dropping back in distance. Her last win was back in December at 1.70 miles. Again, off the pace, seems to be one that can be tactical if she wants to be. Has been working decently. We look at her works. We got the comments here. You know, Wayne Cat looks to have this one ready. Gets Loveberry to come in on to ride this one. And the work seemed to be pretty good. So it looks like the horse to beat. And then the horse I was looking at to possibly beat her is the one horse. Does have a 5-2 EE morning line right behind that number 2. Getting a nice price at 4-1, 29%. Did lose as the favorite, came in second by 3.25 lengths. Last out as a beaten favorite at 45%. So, you know, her win percentage has dropped down. GSR kind of stays the same. Has been facing tougher. And you know, didn't that last trip out in Churchill Downs, the one that the thing that scares me a little bit, finishing 8th, and I didn't stare at a trouble line too much there. Stockton, Chase tired. You know, maybe she doesn't care for the Churchill dirt too much, but you know, that's the one that I was leaning on to try to beat that too at a price.
Right. Okay. So I agree with most of your analysis. So we're kind of on the same page. The one thing that I'm really a little skeptical about is where's the wine? You know, this horse at 3-5
Mhm.
it's just taken an incredible amount of action here, and I don't really think it's deserved. I don't get it. I mean, this horse is coming off turf races, right? Mile turf races at
Yeah.
Fairground,
Yeah.
and had a couple. You know, I'm concerned about the layoff lines from December through February, and
Yeah.
now March again through mid-May. And I'll go back. When I approach a race like this, a horse who's coming from turf out of town, let's see what this horse has ever run at Churchill over the track. And we do have an affirmative there. June 8th of last year,
Right.
ran on a maiden special weight and looked, that was probably a pretty good field, 113K. But I, again, acknowledge last spring, they really jacked up those purses. And it wasn't embarrassed, stalked off the pace. It looked like a pretty rapid pace there, and stalked and ran evenly. But to me, this may be just a turf horse. I will never take 3 to 5 or give out a pick in a race like this. I mean, if you're going to be 3 to 5, you've got to have a win at the distance over the course. Harvey Pack axiom: don't ask a horse to do what it's never done before as the prohibitive favorite. So with that being said, I'm going to the 5 Spirit rules. I mean, you've got this is a 6.5
scratched.
So guess what, Mike? I am not going to pick that horse because it is scratched. Thank you so much.
I think it just scratched. I don't.
It may have just scratched because I looked up here a minute ago. I'm like, there's going to be a speed duel, but he's.
I don't have the feed on, but
all right. It makes it much simpler for me. Wire to wire with the 1 Baldry, and again now Baldry's got the pace advantage. We've got a 14-point pace advantage there, so 29% win. I just don't get the 38% win for where's the line. In my opinion, if you're comparing those 2 horses at the prices they are now, the 1's the only play for me. So
now that the 5 was the only other pace in the race, remember correctly, before it got scratched.
Yes, exactly.
That was my note too. Is that if they get into any kind of a speed duel, the 3 was the other horse I was looking at. But now that 5 scratched, I don't. No, now I'm back on that 1.
Right.
Yeah. If we
so Scott Catalano used to train at Arkansas.
Yeah, another fairground shipper.
Back, so now he's back in 0 for 5, by the way, hasn't hit the board.
No, he is 0 for 5, right?
Yeah. And again, it's a very limited sample. I'll acknowledge that. But if you're 0 for, that's another thing that would lead me away from a prohibitive favorite. You're 4 to 5 now, and Baldry's down to 2 to 1.
Yeah.
Oh, did I see? Yeah, Arlington. Oh, yeah. Back in the days at Arlington. That's why you confused me. I'm like, AP, that used to be Arlington. And Arlington was absolutely. How many years ago did Arlington close? Anybody remember? I'm not a Midwest guy.
I think like 3 up, they're off. We can't show them, but it feels like what feels like longer probably has been not that long.
Right. I was thinking 5 years ago, but I mean, they're just loading in the gate for me. So, the 1 get the lead? Can you tell me that?
No, the 1 did not get the lead. The 2 got the lead. The 1 is right behind her, and then the 3 is on the 4 is on the outside of the 2.
Right. They just went off on the end here, so
half length off of the 2. 4 is pressing that 2. Not really asking the 2 yet. 4 is being asked.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the 1 just didn't.
I'm curious, right? But he's running now, or she's running now. He still hasn't asked her, but she's got some horse. Now he's asking, getting her to change leads, and I don't know if she's going to catch the 2 though. That 2 got. I don't know why that 1. I didn't catch the break. I missed it. I don't know if she broke bad or what, if anybody caught that.
No, I don't think she broke bad. I just think they didn't want possibly to get the lead.
Yeah, it's strange. That 2 ran away with it. That was probably not the greatest idea to let that 2 get the lead.
No. And again, I was 50% correct. I said the 1 wire to gate to wire, wire to wire. But it was the 2. And
2.
I did predict a wire-to-wire win or gate-to-wire, whatever you want to call it, but not. I'll take getting beat on a 3 to 5 shot any day of the week. So it didn't put down. If this horse was 35 to 1, I would have been up in flames and losing my stuff there. But 3 to 5, I'll let beat me any day.
Well, we'll let that one slide for sure.
Okay.
All right, what do we got now? We got
Right.
Hawthorne just about to go off. Let me see how close they are.
Hawthorne.
Oh, it says 4 minutes to post. You want to cover Hawthorne race 4? Seems to be the closest one. Otherwise, we got a pretty big gap here.
Yeah, let's do Hawthorne 4th, and then definitely go to Gulfstream because that's the last
Gulfstream.
race in the NHC qualifier,
Yeah, for sure.
and also the Preakness Challenge, which yours truly is doing okay.
We got to get you that win.
Yes, that would be good.
All right, let's see what the pace looks like here.
But I do have a prediction. As you go, you can go through Hawthorne first. That this is normally what happens to me. I will end up finishing 4th, 10 cents out of the money.
We're going to change that luck today, brother.
That's what happens in these online when you play pick and trade. But I'm liking who I've got. But let's go to Hawthorne.
I like it too. So it looks like we got a couple pace numbers in the 60s here. 2 at 68, the 5 and the 1. 5 is very, very chalky right now. It's got a big GSR jump and square. We'll just go through the call real quick instead of running through the race sim. 5 to 1. So it's kind of following suit with what the pace numbers are looking like. We get to the stretch, still 5 and 1 with everybody else trying to catch them, and it shows the 8 trying to come in late and the 1 dropping anchor. So race sim predicting 5 more or less would go gate to wire. And if we look at that, my notes here was, I did have the huge GSR jump, and I think it's because of the stretch out. If you look at the GSR plus, you can see that number get jumping up to 88, and last out, then all sprints, 5.5, 5, 4.5, and then you can see that GSR kind of making that big leap once she's stretching out here. That's why you're seeing that big arrow and a big pace square or big GSR square. Obviously, Ravelli's always dangerous here at a Hawthorne. Has burned money. You can see in her 2 out of 3 starts, finished 5th last time out as the favorite, beaten favorite. Only 17% win percentage, but the strength of race was a 48. Facing similar here, so seems like a weaker group than what she's been facing. So the only concern I have with this heavy favorite is that she's kind of burned money in the past, but with that GSR jump and the stretching out, she probably is the horse to beat. The other one I think I was looking at here was this classy Cowtown lady, the 8, as I was mentioning, kind of running in off the pace. If there was a speed duel between that 5 and 1, and for some reason that 5 falters any, 8 was the other one. Mainly angle there again, same SOR, has faced tougher in the past. Her running lines aren't all that great, but it's more just the strength of race angle that I was looking at to try to beat that 5.
Right. Yeah. So the 5 looks like a likely winner here.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, top Scotty pick. You got a 44% win percentage, a 7 to 5 morning line, 4 to 5 EE morning line, and you're currently getting even money. So plus you got top pace, top win percentage, top SOR, top GSR, top EE morning line, EE number 1 pick. And now this is an even money, or if it goes down to 3 to 5, this is probably one that I would use. The prior one didn't look as good on paper. But here's the only concern I have, and I think you have to have this concern that Eliza Vance, and again, Larry Ravelli, who, in Midwest is just a brilliant trainer, had success over his career, just crazy success. But the question is the distance. Again, has a limited sample size. So I'm not going to conclude it's a money burner, but when you lose at less than even money and you lose as a favorite twice,
Yeah.
I have concerns. You got to give me a couple of more defeats at those prices to classify her as a money burner. But besides that, there's the distance. This horse has been 4.5, 5, and 5.5. Now stretches out, but this just looks like such a weak field.
It is.
The last race Eliza Vance was in was a 48 SOR, drops down to a 36, stretches out.
Yep.
And then you've got, let me just take a look at the other metrics here. And you've got Unkept Promises, who's got the same pace metric. So the 1 could press, and maybe the 1 could wire this horse, and the 5 doesn't want to lead. But I have to use the 5. So I'm going to use the 5 on top. I won't be playing it for real money, but if I was playing it, I think I would single the 5 if I'm playing any horizontals here.
Yeah, I would agree. And then the other, let's see where they're at. They're still around. I did look at the 1 Unkept Promises. Ran last out, same distance, same conditions against the 40 SOR. Came in second. It didn't seem to be any trouble that she faced. GSR is fine. At the same GSR, I would, usually it only changes unless the sire or dam's offspring is doing well. Typically is the only time I see anything when you see similar conditions and such. If you see a change in GSR. With these youngins, but that's the only thing is that she seems to be training pretty well too. Had a nice work here, gate work back in March before all these races. So I don't think she will have any problem getting out of the gate. So I don't know. Again, I would either play a double. I didn't look at the next race, with the 5 into something else, or key the 5 on top, either over the top of the 1 and 8. I don't see any of the other horses doing anything now.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to see an Eliza Vance Gabagool double. Gabagool. And when I say Gabagool, I got to do this. Gabagool.
Gabagool.
You got to do the Italian accent type of thing.
Gabagool.
Gabagool. But Dan, I don't want to throw out any name there. I'm thinking who you might be referring to, but I'm not sure he's part of the ownership group on this Ravelli horse. Does his name start with? Do I have in common our first names together? Is that he's a David or no? So we got the 2 speeds. We got the 5 is 7 of 5, which actually, for all the metrics advantage this horse has, 7 of 5 looks like a value.
It does now.
Right?
It does now for sure.
Well, good luck, everybody. And the 5, I thought the 5 was going to get squeezed, but it looks like he got off to such a...
Oh, he got it.
Good trip.
It's such a short.
It looks like he's going pretty fast, though. Let's see what the fractions are. Because that 8's Classy Town Clown is putting a lot of pressure on her.
Interesting.
Didn't expect that.
No, that was the one I was thinking was going to sit back further.
20, a little under 24. That may be a little too contentious for these. It looks like the 1 might be setting the perfect trip here. Yeah, I think these 2 might be just dueling each other into defeat.
Yeah.
Now the 1's going to be done. Yeah, the 1's not making up anything right now.
No, they've kind of kept that gap.
Yeah, no, the 5's opening up. Now the 1's going to make the moves. Probably going to be 5-1 or 1-5. Yeah, the 5. Yeah. The 5, as they say, survived the pace duel and survived quite handsomely.
Well, he's not even riding them right now.
No. This looks like a public workout, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's throwing him under the whip. He's probably starting to tire a little bit, but it's not going to make a difference.
No, he's not. There's nobody catching him. The It's weird. That one didn't press at all. I didn't even.
No, he's just like he's going to be like, all right, I'm not. And again, that's probably the right strategy. When you know you have no chance to catch a runaway winner,
That's
just
true.
preserve your horse, preserve the place prior to the place.
Yeah.
Geez, it's going to be like 20 lengths. Yeah, and preserve your horse for
Yeah.
the next one. So that's perfect. So
Yeah, that's a good
and
point.
actually, in retrospect, at 6 to 5, that is a great price. The way that horse won,
Yeah, I wonder
that
what.
horse won like a 1 to 5 shot. Yeah, so I would have
Yeah,
taken 6 to 5. I
did.
thought was a good price.
Yeah, 6 to 1 on the exacta.
But it is Hawthorne. They don't have as much money to pool as some of our other major tracks. So if you put a nice wager on that 6 to 5 could have been 3 to 5. So
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Gulfstream.
All right, buddy, let's go. This is the race.
I'm going
Bring
to
it
also
on.
pull up the NHC contest today.
Yeah, I tried to add that to the share here, but it wasn't working. Right now, it's GT Nixon on top at $84.20. He is good.
Yeah, he's good. He's a really good contest player. I see he's always beating me in these online contests. That's why I decided to. I'm trying to focus this year on the live money tourneys because I seem to, even though I've got, I'm labeled as the NHC guy, the 2-win place guy, the online guy. They only started playing that because of the pandemic. In all honesty, my first success in a tournament was a live money contest at Aqueduct with Memorial Day back in the day.
I hear you.
So I can do. I'm not going to say that I'm good at live money tournaments, but I'm on the same level basically as my regular tournament play. So that's not. I'm not flattering myself because again, I tend to get nipped in these cases.
So I think, the guy behind you has a 2, right? And I think even Nixon has a 2. But then you've got, I think, 8 and 8. So a 2 and an 8, possibly, right? I think that the 1 and the 2 are gonna probably speed duel.
Mm-hmm.
That was my initial thought here. We'll look at the race sim real quick, but it looks like the 7's showing some speed in the race sim.
Yeah, let me take another look at it. Yeah, I'm on adversary, but let me pull up my notes here, and I'm not sure what happened to my notes.
And then my notes, Dave. I'll just go real quick, and I'll let you finish so you can also cheer on your horse. But the 2 did have that EE morning line angle, right? 9-2 versus 12-1 right now, live odds. But his form, he doesn't seem like to pass any horses. So I was shying away from that angle, even though I love that angle. 4 was the top pick. Top win percentage is definitely the favorite with 30% win percentage. First pick shows winning the race sim. I have the same problem with that pick too. It doesn't want to pass horses. Big drop in GSR. Real quick, I'll show you that. 65 down to 52. You look at his form. He too doesn't like to pass horses too often either. So I shied away from the 4. And I really didn't have a great read on this. I actually was going to go with the 8 at a price. So I'll let you talk about your pick real quick.
Yeah, it was a pretty simple pick for me. We're dealing with a 25,000 maiden claimer on the dirt. One of my favorite surface at Gulfstream, to be honest with you, 6.5 furlongs. And the maiden 25s is going to be a weak group, right?
Yeah.
So there's no world beaters in here. There's a couple of first timers, the 6, no end. Actually, that might be the only first timer. And that horse may being out of Mackenzie, but the works would lead you to believe that this is a closer, probably would need this race. And you've got some speed in here that does concern me because my horse absolutely didn't have any speed at all. So if I'm looking at the pace metrics, you've got Jamaica Red that was 65, big long shot, 63 senior money. And there's not a lot of speed in here. After there's a big drop off from the top 2 pace metrics to the 3rd, which is Step at 43. Now, Step's obviously, off the claim is obviously a big contender in here. Drops down from a 50 to a 25, and with that, it's from an SOR. But the thing is, it's an SOR of 48 in the last, and it's a similar group at 48. So, and he doesn't have a lot of speed either. So, what stuck out at me is Adversary, the 5 horse. Now down to 3-1, which is a good sign off a 5-1 morning. I mean, steady works leading into this race. Second race off a layoff, stays at the same level, and got off to a bump break last time out. Blinkers on today. Zaya's on. Paco riding at Monmouth. This seems to be a horse that's got a big chance in here. And I think it's going to be really tough to keep this horse off the board. So, yeah, it would hopefully improve second time off the layoff and second time Lasix. But the concern, Mike, is the horse's first 2 races. Hit gate in the first one, bump break in the so you keep your fingers crossed if you're on this horse like I am that he gets off to a good break. And I think with a good break, and 6.5 I'd like to stretch out, because if he does get a little bit of a trouble start, he's got that half extra furlong to make that up. So I didn't go any further. I mean, I am pretty solid here on the 5. Now I'll talk about Migratory, the 4, who's third off the layoff, 6-5 on the board. A little too short for me. Stays at the same level. Did race against beat Adversary last time out. His adversary the last time out has a bullet workout, but that's March 13th. I just think this horse, the 5, has a chance to reverse on the 4. So it's 5. With me, and I'm actually going to try to beat the 4 in the second position. I was going to do a 5-3. So Adversary over step. And good luck. They're loading in the gate.
I like your angles on that 5. I'm going to be cheering for it. I had another horse, and I don't want it to win because I want you to win.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you,
so I'll
sir.
keep that horse. I'll keep that horse to myself. I won't red board it.
Okay.
So I'll just.
I'm keeping my fingers crossed that the 5 gets off out of the gate well.
Yes, let's go. Come on, 5. Eight's a little restless.
Yeah, not the greatest break, but
not bad. Not better than in the previous start.
Yeah, better than the previous. Hopefully, he gets enough pace.
He's in good position.
Like,
to get out of that.
Well, I like his position, right?
Yeah.
He's got nobody outside of him. He looks like he's just sitting perfect here.
Yeah, he's good.
It looks like he's flat. He's flattening out here, or not?
Nah,
needs to get at least a second. Here he comes. Here he comes.
He's got some horse.
Is he good enough to run down the 3 though?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. The 3 might be.
But I don't know if it would. Right. If the 3 wins this race, it'll be fine for me.
Come on, Trip.
Come on with this 5. Get him up at least second.
5. Get up for second. Don't let that.
Oh shit! The 4's flying. The favorite's going to beat me.
That's all right. That's not going to hurt you. That's not going to hurt you. Even now, you got it. That baby.
I got it. Now the second is big. Now in the contest world, when the 3 when you get beat in the last race and you have a let's see, I had $55.10 on the leaderboard, top of the leaderboard. And the third, actually, we're looking at the 4th place because it's the top 3 that get the seat, $44.70. So I had a pretty comfortable advantage there. But when you get beat, you want it beat by a 2-1 shot. When I saw senior money up there early at 18-1, because the guy in back of me had it, and you don't know, I didn't look that far down the leaderboard. So boom, I'm in the Preakness Challenge, and I've been trying to get in that with saving some money. So it's a good day for me.
Good job. See, we changed your luck. You didn't lose by 10 cents.
Yeah. Maybe this show is really good luck for us. So
you're probably gonna win.
Maybe I'll talk to Scotty, see how it goes next week, and maybe we'll do a run of Wednesday and Thursday if it keeps going like this.
And I win by a couple bucks.
Yeah. So now, hold on a second. I might have to leave early and book a flight to Baltimore. There's There's direct flights to Baltimore. It takes about 45 minutes in the air to get there. But I will be playing, obviously, online.
Yeah, it's not a bad drive either, usually.
No, yeah. It's about, what, 5-6 hours from, I've gone, yeah.
Yeah, about that.
All right.
All right. How
I didn't
about
expect that. And I want to thank you, Mike. I'm
awesome.
gonna hold you responsible for this victory and give you
Where's that?
congrats, because without you putting up an idea for this new show a couple of months ago, I would have never played today.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, no, I wouldn't have played. I wouldn't have played this feeder today. I mean, qualifier. And I got a list of races we were covering, and I'm like, I started working on them last night, this morning. And then about 12:30, I'm like, geez, I have a pretty good handle on this card. I might as well just get into a tournament and like, hey, I want to play that, save some money. So thank you, Mike, because I'd love to come into the show prepared, because I think it's a better show. And
I agree with you. Yeah.
And I think it benefits everybody in the chat room. We put our work in, and we just don't come in here. Now, again, sometimes do I have to come in blind in some races? Yeah. I mean,
Same here.
Life gets in the way, your family,
Exactly.
kids, and dogs, and, other things going on. But with that, I'd like to be as prepared as possible, because
Exactly.
you have more confidence and you can discuss it better. So
I'm the same way. You can't get to every one of them, but you want to be somewhat prepared and at least have some notes and looked at least half a dozen of parts of the metrics. And
okay, so where are we heading next?
Let's go to Churchill Downs. We got 5 minutes to the second race there, and we seem to do pretty well there since in the first race.
Sure.
Now that I could tell you what I was on, my entry, I was on the 8. And I didn't want to say anything because the two guys behind you had the 8. And
okay.
So that's why I didn't say anything. And it didn't mean anything because the 8, even if the 8 won, there's no way I was gonna catch anybody. But
right. And sometimes I use some of these contests. Again, I've been nipped so many times going into the last race that hey, Tyler, thanks, man. Hopefully do well in tournament. Thanks for joining into our new show. But I've been nipped so many times. So sometimes in these pick and praise, I'll just take a long shot in the last, and just in case you're like, shit, I'm like 8 places behind a money qualifier here, and I have no chance because I played a 3-2 shot. So what the hell? So. But
that's kind of what I did.
They went with the horse that I like the best. So you got me to get second, got beat by the favorites.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's get into second, Churchill.
Yeah, so we'll go through our normal routine. A lot of firsters. This is a youngin' race. 2-year-olds, 5 furlongs. Most of them have not had a race. Looks like the 8 has one underneath her, and who is the other one there? Chiquita's Way has one underneath her. All the rest are firsters. So these are always interesting. So I have some buddies that have some interest in this 5. I think we got a Ravelli horse in here. Let's go through here. Yeah, we got a Ravelli with a Loveberry. So that one's probably, definitely taking money. Kind of expected that. We got Mark and Norm with horses. Jose on Mark's horse. Those two always are dangerous together. But I won't go through the race sim. It's not really. So what I do with these youngins and stuff like that, I'll look at the pace. It's only going to be as good as what probably how they're training and things of that nature. I'll usually sort on GSR first to see who's got the top GSR at the distance on the turf. Then I'll start looking at pedigree, jockey trainer combos, how the trainer does with firsters and things like that. So where I did look at that 5 because we have some buddies that have some vested interest in there.
Okay.
Looks like Jake has a note here. Scotty's first pick is a long shot. Is a long shot at 8. Yeah, 8. Is it really? 8-1 morning line. Yeah, 15-1 EE morning, 12-1. Yeah, I guess it is. Hancock seems to do all right. He doesn't have a lot of.
Yep.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of stuff going on here at Churchill with the youngins though that I saw, at least
No,
when I was looking at it.
mostly Keeneland. Keeneland.
Yeah, he's a Keeneland guy, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But he wins the race sim. Not if it matters any. The other thing here was a 21 win percentage. He's tied with 6 as the top win percentage. He is the top Scotty pick as well.
Mhm.
So just all of those angles you got to take into consideration. Volatile is a sprinter. That's probably why looks like most of his wins were just off the pace. Pretty good sprinter, right? Pedigree there.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The other top GSR was a 6, America the Great. That's the Mark Casse horse with Jose. They're 3 for their last 12, and they have a couple of third places. This is a Curvin filly. Probably will want longer in the long run, but you got to start somewhere, right? Works
No,
are
absolutely.
okay. Yeah. And then the other one, I'm a big Twirling Candy fan, and that's She's Twisted. That's the Ravelli horse taking a lot of money. I want to beat the Ravelli horse, and with some buddies that have some vested interest in that 5, that's kind of where I landed.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Rather extensive analysis. Thank you, Mike. As far as 2-year-old fillies, this is a race I will sit and have if I smoke cigars, I'd be in the grandstand, leaning back, having a cigar, not dipping into my pocket whatsoever, just watching for possible future wagering. I just like to watch these races unless I have some kind of angle or some kind of inside information, which I very rarely have, to be honest with you. But I think it's basically when these 2-year-olds take money like this, like the Forest taking, I mean, it's really tough to play against. Now, this is the most expensive yearling in the race, $410,000 at the OBA sale in March of 25. Yeah. So, hold on, so that can't be March of 20. Oh, yes. Okay. In that case, rather late, has a couple of good workouts here. April 19th at Keeneland, a bullet out of the gate, and also a decent race workout on April 13th. And why is this horse not taking any money? I mean, 12-1, the horse is dead on the board for those works. John Hancock, besides being a very good signer of documents, he's good with 2-year-olds at Keeneland. He's had some success, and he's had long shots, usually running behind Wesley Ward for a second or third at pretty good prices. He's made my exacta in some of the 2-year-old races at Keeneland that I did opt to play. But the only horse I want, they're off. I'm going to mention the 8 Nanzig, who I thought was live second time for John Ennis. I believe they're off.
Yep, they are. Looks like She's Twisted took the lead, getting pressed by the 8. Nanzig, that's who you just mentioned.
Yeah, I thought the 8 was live there. I should have mentioned it before they went off, but
now they're going 4 wide here, 5, 6 wide actually. 3, we didn't even mention a 3.
Is that the Casse horse? Yeah, the Casse horse was definitely live.
Yeah, $100,000
yearling sale. Yep.
Yeah. I briefly mentioned her, but and a 6 coming late. Yeah, that was a nice race by that 3.
Yeah, very impressive first timer.
Wow, that was very impressive.
This horse may have a stakes future. Wouldn't surprise me to see her up at the Spa in a couple of months in one of those baby races, stakes races. Good for Norm. Congrats, Norm.
Very nice.
And now this was, if you're looking at, and again, 3 to 5, it was taking the 4. It was taking so much money.
Yeah, I finished.
And look what you got here. Now you got the second highest yearling here. It was $100,000 purchase at the same sale in March of 25, the OBS. So when you look at the disparity in price, you have a $400,000 filly who goes off at 3 to 5. Mm-hmm. Then you have a $100,000 filly who goes off at 7 to 1. So there's your value. I apologize for not missing that before, because that horse was definitely live. at that price. I opted to throw in a horse who I thought was a little bit live, Nanzig. But yeah, and Norm Cassie is good with the great barn, great family, excellent trainer. His dad is, and yeah, he's got his horses ready. So good performance. So you'll see this horse in stakes races. Yeah,
no doubt. All right, so now we're going to be winging it a little bit because I think now I have some notes on Hawthorne 5.
Okay, we can, if we're going to wing it, we have a little time. We want to throw a little bit of hockey in there for all your 3 hockey fans who are in the chat. But you want me to do we have 2 minutes to do a little bit of hockey?
Yeah, let's do 2 minutes of hockey and we can throw a dart at Hawthorne race 5.
Sure, because it's only going to be dart throwing anyway. But yeah, I just want to start off with saying that Toronto Maple Leafs are back to their old form. I'm kind of disappointed in that the series is not going to be tighter. Most likely, I don't foresee Toronto winning Game 6 with everything. A trip to the conference finals for the Panthers. Now, the Panthers, they were down 2-0 in the series. Those were 2 tight games. Could have went either way. Yeah. And then they come back home. They go to overtime. They could have lost that game. I thought they outplayed them basically late in the game. And then you had a couple of bounces off players. And let's be honest, the Panthers were so lucky to go out of that game 2-1. They could have been down 3-0. But once Toronto loses and then they lost, to me, then the series changed. That was on their head. Yeah, it gets in their head. They haven't won, and I feel bad for their fans. But guess what? They're not winning again. They're not winning again this year. There's no way, in my opinion. Now, you gave the Panthers a chance to round into form, and they have done that. Bob is the best goalie left, in my opinion, out of the rest of the teams that are competing for the Cup. Now, I guess the Dallas goalie, it would probably be second on that list. You would probably agree. But I think, I'll take Bob in a pressure spot any day long over any of these goalies who are left. And so they've got the best goalie. And in all honesty, and again, I know this is redboarding. This is in retrospect. This has happened already. But I was telling people that the winner of the Panther Lightning series is going to be the Stanley Cup champion. Now, it may not have been if the Lightning won because the Lightning were, they had a major injury late in the season, and they seemed a little off. But Panthers, I don't see anyone beating the Panthers going for a second straight Stanley Cup. And as long as everybody stays healthy, that's the caveat. And I think, to me, if it's a Panther Carolina series, that team is whoever wins that series is winning the Cup, and most likely it's going to be Florida.
I kind of agree with you that Panthers. Yeah. You want to answer?
Yeah, Scott. Yeah, I believe Rantanen has been playing so great. It wasn't so. It was just him coming back and getting on fire against his old team and basically single-handedly beating them. It was just amazing. He came in with such a clutch performance. But I think you're going to.
I would agree. Because when I had initially thought, people are going to have a hard. Teams are going to have a hard time scoring on Hellebuck.
Yeah.
And,
in the regular season.
Yeah. And they're starting to be proved wrong. Right. And then when when you're competing against another goalie that's red hot, now that changes things. Right. So, and then now Hellebuck's getting scored on. So, my theory went out the window. And then I agree with you with that Florida. I felt one of those Florida teams, whoever came out of it, had a good run at the Cup. I'm obviously not going to be a Leafs fan for a very, very long time. I feel bad for him being a Sabres fan and all that, feeling the pain and all, being a Bills fan too and feeling pain like that. But, some of it's deserved, some of it's not. I don't feel bad for him. So sorry, not sorry, as they say. The other group I'm really rooting for is Edmonton. I really would love to see them get off the snide and some if I wanted a Canadian team to win, it would be at Edmonton for me.
Right. I'd like to
so
see Connor McDavid. You'd like to see the elite stars in the league
yeah,
have success because it'll just promote the game. A game we love. We'd love to see it become more popular. And if Connor McDavid has a bang up final and they end up beating the Panthers, which I don't think, I don't think they have enough chippiness that the Panthers have that they can, compete again. Now, last year they came back valiantly and they, really made it a series. But now as the rest of the playoffs evolve, let's be honest, Panthers are just going to get chippier and chippier, and that's the way they knock you off your game. They're almost like the Broad Street bullies of they're Panther Parkway bullies. That's what I would classify them as. They play that rugged, tough playoff style.
They do.
Now you got them on a roll, and I don't think there's any turning back.
And like you said, bounces happen to good teams, right? So
exactly,
good
teams make their own breaks. Right. If you don't crash the net, and you're aggressive against, the bounces aren't going to bounce your way. You're putting yourself in a position for those rebounds, right?
Yep.
You're
shots on goal, go to the net.
People in the boards, and forechecking behind the net to grab a loose puck. They make their opportunities.
Yeah, Jay, I'm kind of, I thought maybe Ovechkin was going to have a run for it too. Good luck on that bet. I mean, that's probably a good angle with them coming back home and wanting to prolong the series.
With the Caps tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they got it. They got it up against Carolina, but even though they're at home.
I think the Caps are, in my opinion, I do like that. I think the Caps have more in them. And, you get Tom Wilson in that locker room saying, we're not effing losing tonight, boys. I'm going to carry you on my back, even if I have to strangle somebody and shed some blood on this ice. But we're not going down on our home ice. So, I could see this being the series going a little further. But I think inevitably Carolina prevails. Yeah,
I have a feeling too.
Domi, I like that, Tyler. Domi is as big of a clown as his dad stirring the pot. Yeah, that hit late in the game the other night was just brutal. I mean, there was no need for that. That game was over, and I know the NHL, and I've been a fan since 1970. That that's the way playoff games are played. Let's send a message to the team once we lose. But that was not good. That was
I agree. Let's see what else.
All right, we have the fifth race at Hawthorne. Scotty just texted me. He says, "Will you guys stop talking hockey and get back to Hawthorne?" So, only kidding, Scotty. Let's us roll.
Yeah, I think they're approaching the gate, but I think I had some notes on it real quick. I can share. The two had a 10-point pace advantage. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tyler. I'm right on. I remember that. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, that's all right. I don't know if anybody's overly interested in this race, but I did just had a couple notes, but they were real quick. Campbell, the trainer's 26% off the claim. What happened there? Mm-hmm. I had the 2 just because of the pace advantage. Big win percentage bump. He's faced tougher.
How could you play against? Face tougher at Goldstrom. How can you bet against Gabagool?
Gabagool, and that was the horse we were talking about. The double into.
I said the double with Gabagool is going to be $3.80.
Yeah,
and that's Matt Miller's track, but he won't even play that.
That's all right. We hit a $6 double or a $6 exact to the last race, so 6-1. Yeah. I'll take that all day long. Let's see.
Looks like Gabagool's got a ton of horse on the rail here. Just waiting to. Here we go. And there goes Gabagool.
$6.80 for double.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
No, I don't know. I think Gabagool is. He's done. I don't think he's hitting the board there.
Gabba drool.
Gabba drool. He needs some water. All right, the 8 horse.
The jockey's looking back with 100 feet to go. What is he still looking back? What is he looking at?
I don't know. Maybe it's something wrong.
Maybe he's surprised he won.
Right. Holy shit! I thought I had no chance to win.
Did
Where the hell is
really?
everybody?
What the
He's
heck
looking, Mike.
happened?
He's looking to see how many horses broke down behind him because he thought he had no chance to win. It's like, wow. So it's
That's
at
funny.
12-1. You got a huge price, and again, off of a 15-1 morning, an EE
That's
morning line of
crazy.
20-1. And good thing we were talking about hockey because Mike, just looking at that horse, there's zero chance that I would have ever come up with that.
No way.
Right.
No,
So
I didn't. I had two
perfect
notes
time
on
to
that.
talk a little hockey. Right.
I had the 6, so the other horse I was looking at, but wasn't any better. But yeah. So I think we have a break here. I guess we want to look at Pimlico tomorrow. We can look at the Black Eyed Susan if anyone's interested. Or
Yeah, you want to do that because I do have my grandson's concert this evening.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
yeah, so I'm probably gonna leave a little before 6. That's our end time, and if you want to stay on, it's up to you. But I apologize, everybody. But if I even miss 10 seconds of my grandson's concert,
Yeah, that's important, dude.
my wife will. I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight. She's like, the question will be, hold on a second. You're with the horses again,
Right.
a horse race. Had you missed 5 minutes of Connor's concert? Are you? She's right. She's absolutely right. The time I devote to this sport and these contests, and it has worked. It took years.
It worked.
It's worked for me, but it did take many decades. So keep the faith, everybody.
All right. While we got some time, we'll end it with we'll look at how about a Black Eyed Susan Preakness double.
Okay, well, if you were going to say a pick 5, but I do have a good opinion on actually forget the 14th. We want no part of the Arabian Classic, or I don't want any part. Any Arabian horse fans out there, I apologize, but I will not play that race.
They are pretty cool, but I wouldn't bet.
Okay, let's go because I was going to sum this up. I think I am joining the stakes preview tonight later.
Are you? There you go.
So if we want to, let me go to 17th.
I don't want to ruin your big boom.
No, that's okay. That's okay. And again, it depends where we go after the concert to grab something to eat, and if I have a cocktail or two. Scotty says I have a two drink limit before anything. Two drinks or above, I can't come on the show. And they give me a breathalyzer. You know that. I'm only kidding. I'm not a big drinker. It's only a joke.
Yeah, they're virtual
breathalyzer test. Right. I'm not a big drinker unless now I could celebrate a little bit for getting a $1,500 entry into the
exactly.
Yeah. So that is but no
reason to celebrate.
Right. No, the reason we celebrate would be the win in that contest tomorrow. So then I will have more than 2 then, if that is possible. All right. So you want to go to the Preakness? You want to go to
well, what do you want? You want to look at a Black Eyed Susan Preakness double, or do you want to just go to Preakness?
Sure. Why don't we do that? I'll save the drama for who I like in the dinner party stakes for tonight. So, because most people are interested more in the Black Eyed Susan. Okay, let's go to Black Eyed Susan first, and then we'll do the double, and then I will be departing to Connor's concert.
Yeah, sounds good. I haven't honestly looked at it, so I'm looking at it for the first time and just do my normal routine. It seems similar to you.
I have looked at it, but just briefly.
Yeah. So it looks like we've got a pace square. It's only 7-point gap between Liam in the Dust and Paris Lily. 77, 70, 69 with Princess Aaliyah. I did go to the first call. It does match kind of up with the pace figures that we're seeing in the EE metrics. We move to the second call. Not much change from first call to second call. We jump to the stretch. You can see where, I'll just go back and forth here. The 3, 4, 7, 5 seem to be making up some ground on those leaders. 3, 4, 7, 5. So Margie's Intention, Running and Gunning, Reply, and Kinsey Queen. Looks like Running and Gunning's got a big GSR number at 93 with a square around her. So keep an eye on that. And then the finish looks like everybody's charging after those front runners. So EE looks like it has it as a pace duel between that 1 and 6, and then everybody coming after him down the stretch. Anybody below a 54 pace number here, charging after him.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if there's anyone. Let's look at the Liam in the Dust real quick and see what she's done.
Before you go to Liam in the Dust, can
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
just say something? I hate that. I'm not a big fan. I don't want any part of Liam in the Dust here. To me, this horse has ability, but just doesn't seem to. I mean, this horse has been in Demoiselle. This horse has been in the Busher, and just totally fell apart off the layoff. He's just not finishing. And I think this horse, Rudy Brissett is a great trainer, but I just think that this horse, and now nobody's going to confuse this field, with any greatness. That's for sure. This 3-year-old crop of fillies is rather weak, right?
Rough. Yeah.
I think we saw that at Gulfstream. I wasn't impressed with really anybody. So, but go ahead. I'll let you go. I just have to get off Liam in the Dust off my chest.
Yeah, no worries. I was just looking at it too, and I have to agree with you. Burned some 23%, 2-1 favorite, and got reamed. Yeah, I'm not a fan. 6, let's see, it seems to be dropping GSR. That's kind of always an immediate negative for me. Went from a 72 down to a 61. Stretching out the half furlong. Looks like needs the lead for the most part, right? And I'm not going to get it necessarily with the 1 having the inside post, so probably looking elsewhere. This 2 has a nice price, big GSR jump, 10% win percentage. Doesn't have any kind of arrow. Let's see have her right off the pace. Kind of staying there whole way down. Let's see if she passes horses. Yeah, she likes to pass horses. It's a Dwayne Lucas horse, Into Mischief. I love Into Mischief.
Mm-hmm.
Had a rough ride of it, and the 8 bells. Looks like she just didn't take too well to the Churchill Downs surface. Although she did, seemed to like Churchill Downs. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Oaklawn Park filly by the looks of it, with Dwayne off the pace. I don't know, possibly. Is there anybody else you're eyeing up here? I'm looking at the closers.
I'm looking at this race. Even though it's a rather weak field, it's very contentious. I mean, you could have a number of horses winning here. And I was just looking at Lucas's horse, right, Princess Leia, who just totally did not have any chance in that 8 bells. And that race got an 82 SOR, and that's probably the highest of any of these fillies have faced. Now, it would be a step up. She did win 2 back at Oaklawn against a 70 group. This is a 70 group, which shows you it's a stakes, and it's pretty weak. So I think this horse is a contender, but I'll get to my picks because my wife said I got 5 minutes.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. So I'll just be quick. I think you have to use margin of intention off the last. It's Brad Cox, the favorite. I do have a concern that he's probably going to be overbet, but the other 2 horses, I think Reply, you have to use the Scotty second pick, Russell. The Weber City Miss, that was again, the first introduction into a stakes race, small field, like 7-horse field, rallied and finished a decent second. With any improvement, this horse is a contender. But the horse I want to focus on at a price, like I said, Liam in the Dust is out the window for me, is Paris Lily. I just think, she's moving way up in SOR, right, from a 62 to a 70. But, her last 2 races were good. That was a sloppy track at Keeneland. Maybe she'll move up. This is a Godolphin a horse. Maybe she'll move up on if she gets a fast track, which I think, by all accounts, we may get. So to me, that's my price play. She's got to improve, but I think she may have a little more upside than some of these other fillies who we've seen run before. And so I would use those three in doubles: Margin Intention, the top Scotty pick, Reply the second, and also the 6 Paris Lily. So those would be the three I'd be going into the Preakness. So let's go to the Preakness. And I think that this is my wife said, can you do that last race in 4 minutes? I'm like, I probably need about 30 seconds, because not that I'm giving you anything. We all know who the best horse is in the race. 2 minutes. She gave me the 2 minute warning. We all know who the best horse is in the race, and is Journalism. And if Journalism is healthy, gets everything, gets out of the gate fine, should be a winner here. The only concern I would have, and it's not much of a concern, look at that GSR, 99 GSR, second, and could have won the Kentucky Derby. This horse is the real deal, everybody, in my opinion. The only concern is the pace metric of a 37. Does someone get off on a speed favoring track, and maybe the Journalism gets out of the gate a little bit slow, and you guys the delayed rally and belated rally and gets up for second? No, I don't see that scenario. But you always got to keep that in the back of your mind, because I will go a little deeper. So besides those three, you've got to use Journalism. The other horses I want to get in are two of them. I like goal oriented. I know this is unlikely that a horse is going to step up from that prior race and go into a grade 1 Triple Crown race, but it is the Preakness. You've got a prohibitive favorite in Journalism, but I would see that from the rail, this horse should be right on the lead. American Promise has got a shot to hit the board if the speed holds up. But the long shot that I'm going to give you guys is a horse that I think can hit the board at a big price, and that's the 9 Gosker.
I knew it.
Okay, you knew it. You know where I'm going when I see that 901. The Lexington was the stepping stone. That was a 70 SOR, and he impressed me in that race. That's the third race off a layoff. And Brendan Walsh, can we get a Brendan Walsh value double in here? I don't think Gosker can beat Journalism, but I will be a strong 2-9 exacta. The 4 horses I will use in the Preakness are Journalism with the 139. So 2139, 2931. There's your super, or there's my super, or there's my triple. So go ahead, Mike.
No, I appreciate it, David. If you have to go right ahead.
And I will go, and I'm sure you'll give out the winners. Thank you so much, everybody. I thought the show was great.
Thanks, buddy.
And sorry for everybody for the technical difficulties, but Mike, it was great, and good luck,
buddy.
Maybe I'll catch you on Saturday on the show.
Yeah, good luck. Thank you, buddy.
Good luck, man. Thanks.
All right, take care.
You too.
All right, folks. I'll wrap it up here. My couple picks. I didn't look at the Black Eyed Susan too much. I do like David's idea with Journalism. It's the horse to beat. I don't know if anybody has any other ideas, speak up. But if you think somebody's got a far more legitimate chance to really beat him, but I think if anybody does have a chance, the other horse I was looking at was River Thames. The only question mark here is the distance. Seems to not do so well beyond a mile. He might be a mile horse. I was surprised to not see him run in the dirt mile Derby Day. I was thinking maybe he would. That seems to be more his distance. So if he can get that distance, that's the only question mark for Pletcher and Irad. Gosker was one of my long shots to use underneath. I don't think he can beat Journalism. Sandman is a toss for me. I think he's not going to win. Could he get in for a minor shot? He is the only closer, like true closer of the group. So can he pick up some pieces down the stretch and come in third or fourth? Yeah, I don't even think he'll get second place. I would use him in the third or fourth slot and horizontals. I did agree on goal oriented. I think I personally would probably play a 2-1 cold exacta, but I will spread underneath probably in verticals in the third and four spots. And 8 Clever Again was the other one that does show speed. We'll have to do better at this distance. So He's faced much easier groups, so he's going to have to step up against a much better group of horses here. But I do think that he has a chance to hang in there for a piece. I just don't think he's good enough to beat Journalism. So, all right, y'all. We'll give it a wrap up here. David and I will be back next week. Stay tuned for time. He and I try to figure it out based off of our personal schedules, and then also what the tracks are lending us. I think we get now Woodbine's on Fridays start next week. I thought maybe we had Woodbine. I think it's the week after we get them on Thursdays. I can't remember. Yeah, real quick, Mike. Any thoughts on 8 lightly race? Yeah, so I just going quick on Clever again. My only concern, I think he has a chance to get a piece. As you can see, he wants to lead to win, and also he's going to have to step up. His last win at Oaklawn Park was at a mile. Can he get the distance? His GSR says he can. He goes up from a 73 to a 77. You compare him to the rest of the field, he's kind of mid to lower. And my concern with this horse is really the distance, to be quite honest with you. Can he get the 9.5 furlongs? GSR says yes. I'm still questioning whether he can. He may be more of that mile and a eighth, maybe, if that. Kind of a horse. American Pharaoh says he can get the distance, right? I don't think he can beat Journalism, though. Can he get second or third? Possibly, but he's going to be caught up in that pace. Most likely. Let's see what the first call says. Yeah, so he's going to be forwardly placed. He's got speed inside him, so he's going to have to get a trip and demonstrate that he can rate. The only time that he's been off the pace was his maiden race, and he kind of just ran flat. So that's my take on Clever again. But he could hold on for a bottom piece anyway. So that's all I had, you guys. Like I said, next week David and I'll be on. Look for our YouTube to find out the time. Tonight the group is doing I think they're looking at all the stakes races at Pimlico this weekend, tomorrow and Saturday. They'll also be live starting at, I think, 1:15. So check the YouTube channel. 1:15 Saturday, going all the way straight through the Preakness. I'll be joining at around 4 o'clock. And then I'll see you guys hopefully Saturday, and then check us out tonight as well on the preview show. So thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you being patient with the technical difficulties. I'll get this thing fixed and figured out between my laptop and the behind the scenes stuff. I'll get it figured out for next week. So thank you for your time tonight, and you guys have a great evening. Good luck this weekend. See you soon.